in this 21st century, the biggest area of research for which researchers and scientists from different disciplines are coming together is the studies in consciousness. Whenever we talk about consciousness, we think of philosophy, psychology, neurosciences, and religion, spirituality, and all such areas. But in past few decades, a very much growing interest has been created from the field of computer science too. As initially, the researchers thought of building intelligent machines, the basic assumption given by Alan Turing that can machine think. On the basis of that, an area of study opened that was called artificial intelligence. When going through different areas of studies in artificial intelligence, people found that there are two main areas, one is strong AI and one is weak AI. So those problems which resides in weak AI were thinked to be solvable, but those who resides in strong AI need some more efforts to become solvable. And for such problems to be solved, the concept which came into existence a step ahead from artificial intelligence became an area of study related with consciousness called artificial consciousness. So the topic with which I am here and I am researching is quantum artificial consciousness, and a basic idea of what it is I am going to present here. The word quantum in physics said that a quantum is the minimum amount of any physical entity involved in any interaction. The plural form of quantum is quanta. Basically, this level of minute observation we do by quantum. This term in itself is so important because on the basis of this term, the quantum theory came, quantum entanglement concept came, quantum information field concept came. So basis of all those principles are the basic foundation of this word quantum if it gets involved in some other terms. When we talk about artificial is often used in two different meanings. In first form, the term artificial denotes a human artifact that replicated or simulate a real thing, like an artificial flower, which replicate or simulate an original flower. In the second form, the term artificial is used to denote a genuine physical phenomenon reproduced using a human-made device like artificial light. So these are the two different forms in which we use term artificial. When we talk about consciousness, consciousness is the quality or state of awareness or of being aware of an external object or something within oneself. It has been defined as sentience, awareness, subjectivity, the ability to experience or to feel, wakefulness, having a sense of selfhood, and the executive control system of the mind. These are the definitions of consciousness in the perspective of human consciousness. When we talk of quantum consciousness, the quantum consciousness or quantum mind hypothesis proposes that classical mechanics cannot explain consciousness. It possesses that quantum mechanical phenomena such as quantum entanglement and superposition may play an important part in the brain's function and could form the basis of an explanation of consciousness. It is not a single theory but a collection of hypotheses. And when we define artificial consciousness, sometimes labeled as machine consciousness, is the attempt to model and improve those aspects of human cognition which are identified with the often elusive and controversial phenomena of consciousness. If we go through all the definitions, what we find in common is, on one side we are talking about consciousness from the perspective of humans, and on the other side we are trying to model it into computers. The human consciousness, which is natural in itself, is trying to be modeled into silicon chips of computers which will be artificial in nature. When we talk about quantum computing studies theoretical computation system, quantum computers that make direct use of quantum mechanical phenomena such as superposition and entanglement to perform operation on data. Here we see a very revolutionary thing, that on one side where consciousness gets a better explanation through quantum theory. So on the other side, computers gets a better speed through quantum theory. So quantum is very common in consciousness and at high level computing also. So what we think of is quantum artificial consciousness. Quantum theory can give better understanding of consciousness through the concepts of quantum consciousness. This better understanding of consciousness will lead towards better modeling of consciousness for machines, because whenever we want to make anything into machines, firstly we have to model it. So the better understanding of consciousness will lead towards better modeling. More and more we will be able to understand the consciousness in human perspective. It will be better to model them with more parameters, more phenomena into machines. Quantum computing adds higher processing speed to the computers. So better modeling of consciousness and high speed of quantum computing further leads to quantum artificial consciousness, and this is the very new term in the area of study, and this is how I can say that we can model consciousness better into machines with the help of quantum computing, and this quantum artificial consciousness is the area of study in present and future, with lots of dimensions and lots of explorations. Thank you very much.